Okay, Madison, here are the things that we saw coming into camp. You're a big guy, wide shoulders, big legs. Stance width looks pretty good. You're not constricting yourself. You're not getting so wide that we can't use the lower body effectively. Okay, so that's good. The things that we saw, you're a blind snapper. You're a guy who keeps his head up throughout the snap. Have you ever tried throwing it down and through?
Yeah, because I've been working with Cole and my brother used to do that. And Cole would get the ball from my brother, yeah, under his chin and make him come
okay. Do you love it? Do you hate it? It's really a personal choice. Okay. The important thing I'll point out, if you're going to keep your head up, you've got to stay head neutral. What I mean by that is if you pop up before finishing the snap, you're going to interrupt energy flow back to your target. You can send energy in the wrong direction. Exactly. You're going to screw it up. And you're also going to cut short your follow-through, compromising accuracy at the same time. Okay? I sound like I'm stuttering here. Don't mean to, but I do talk a little fast at times. Your platform is great. Your head-to-tail platform, the alignment of the spine is great. The extension of the upper body forward of the belly button is great and well extended to counterbalance that shorter, heavier haunches. So the teeter-totter essentially in the balance is pretty darn good. I do like that a lot. The things that I think we need to work on. For a blind snapper, pretty much shoulders to hips, you want to be fairly horizontal to the ground. And in your case, you're a little tall in the saddle, meaning the rear's a little high, not quite enough knee bend, okay? You're also a little bit flat-footed. And on top of that, there's a real tendency for the leg drive to be too vertical because it's kind of like doing a hack squat. When you're flat-footed, you can only go up and down. We need leg drive off of vertical by about 10 to 20 degrees back into the hips so that lower body motion energy can converge and be combined with what's traveling down the spine in an arrow point that's directed straight at our target. That's how we maximize power and accuracy, by capturing motion energy and sending it straight towards our target. Okay? So those are the things we need to work on. You are hopping just a little bit off the ground. When we're in contact with the ground, keeping the toes pointed or whatever, we're really operating on two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. When we leave planet Earth, we introduce that third dimension of the z-axis, and all I'm saying is a lot more can go wrong around the center of gravity and the weight distribution that can screw you up. So let's try to keep you in contact with the ground. I like and admire the fact that you're driving with the legs, but let's try to do something like point the toes and stay in contact with Earth. One way you can practice that is just try to go a yard each time and just go through that motion right there. It's quite a physical workout to do that too. Another thing you can do, which we'll do tomorrow, is snapping uphill. Okay? And there are a lot of good reasons we'll talk about tomorrow, but snapping on a hill could be very beneficial for you. The disclaimer is always use a spotter. Have a guy hold his arm under your clavicle in case you slip so you won't crack your head. Wear cleats and never snap on a wet hill. You want to be doubly safe, wear a helmet and shoulder pads too. Okay? Safety first. But it's a great place to go from being merely good to great. Okay? So what I need you to do is I need to do two things. Number one is I need to kind of sit you a little deeper on the back end, and I probably need to shift your weight forward till I can position the knees right over the toes, which is our standard of being optimally balanced and weight distributed. Go ahead and set up. I'm going to three-step you the first time, okay? Now, do you have really tight hips or anything? Or are you pretty flexible?
But I've been doing yoga.
Doing okay? Okay, good. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is three-step you. You're familiar with that. That's that little coaching technique we invented that is probably the most effective thing we can do. You ready? Okay, I'm going to pull you forward. Go ahead and lean on the ball. That's okay. No, keep your feet. Just lean on the ball when you need to. Okay? That makes sure that knee bend is 90 degrees or less, straightens the back, and fully extends the arms. Then I raise you up, maximizing operating room under the torso. Last thing I'm going to do is push you back into the hips towards your target, and in your case, slightly downward, till the heels touch the ground, the knees are over the toes, you're solid on your feet. Now, are you comfortable there? I would say proportionally, you got very long legs, a shorter torso, and a slightly shorter proportionally arms. So we don't want to move you too high on the front end and far from the ball. And it may be the case where you're always going to have the hips slightly higher. But the more horizontal we can make that for you as a blind snapper, probably the better you're going to be in terms of directionality of motion. Channeling everything straight towards your target. Does that feel comfortable? Give it a good hard go. How's that feel? That right there looks pretty darn studly. I'm highly impressed. Let's do one more. That's the most athletic snap I've seen you throw all day. Now you feel like you're getting good action out of the left hand too, throwing and controlling with both hands? Okay. So what we essentially did, again, you're a little tall on the back end and a little flat-footed. So what I did is I scrunched you down a bit, and then I just moved around so I could get your knees right over your toes for an optimal balance. Let's do that real quickly and get a snap in. Oh, you're probably a little fatigued after snapping all day. Let's try that right there, see what happens. Okay? Little off balance at the end, and I'll tell you why. You finish that snap, either hold the finish or break it down into a good fundamental two-point stance. You come up at the waist, that center of gravity is going to fall behind the hips. You're going to finish on your heels and get your butt whooped. Okay? All right, one more time. Make sure you break it down. Feel pretty comfortable? You're looking really athletic right now. That's good. Okay, good. Where'd the ball go? Right to the hip. Perfect setup will lead to a perfect snap. Now, one last thing. I want to show you how to keep that head down. There's one of two ways we can do it. Go ahead. One is I'm just going to hold a hand or a ball over your head. If you pop up, you'll feel it. So just snap a ball on your own. I'm going to tap you on the head before you snap to remind you. Excellent. See how much more directional it is? All the energy goes down the spine towards your target. The other way I could help you get a feel for it is to slightly shove the shoulders as you snap. And let's do that one time. You ready? Feel that? Now I really exaggerated so you could really feel it. But that's that kind of, we want the gut crunch and the upper body motion driving into the hips, the legs driving back into the hips like dodging an inside pitch, so all that energy is captured and channeled in the right direction. You have any questions? You're looking pretty good. Let's go.
Go. Good arch behind the throw. Next job. Stop. Be aggressive. Use the whole body, okay? Chin down to the chest. Looking good. There it is.